Hi everyone, I'm thrilled to be here with all of you today. Let's dive into a fun cooking story. Recently, I encountered a bit of a challenge while preparing a dish that relies heavily on jalapeños. I was making my famous spicy jalapeno cornbread for a neighborhood potluck. This dish is a big hit around here. It's a hearty, moist cornbread with a kick of heat from the jalapeños, along with cheddar cheese and a touch of honey to balance the flavors. Jalapeños are key to this recipe because they provide a perfect level of spice without overpowering the dish. While prepping, I realized I was running low on jalapeños. For those unfamiliar, jalapeños are small, green chili peppers with a medium level of heat. They're incredibly popular in Texas, often used in everything from salsas and dips to stuffed peppers and grilled dishes. I usually pick them up fresh from local farmers markets, where they are abundant and full of flavor. Faced with the shortage, I had to think outside the box. Instead of just using a different chili pepper, I decided to create a spicy jalapeno blend by combining some green chilies and a touch of hot sauce. I also added a bit of smoked paprika to give that smoky kick. I mixed these ingredients into the cornbread batter and baked it as usual. The result was a deliciously spicy cornbread with a unique twist that everyone enjoyed at the potluck.
Maya, I love how you turned a shortage into an opportunity to experiment. Your jalapeno cornbread sounds amazing. I'm curious, did the blend of green chilies and hot sauce change the overall flavor profile, much compared to using just jalapenos?
Thanks, Emily. Yes, the flavor did shift a bit. The green chilies added a different kind of heat, while the hot sauce gave a more intense kick. The smoked paprika brought a subtle smoky undertone that complemented the dish really well.
That sounds delicious, Maya. I'm always impressed by how resourceful you are. I'd love to know, how did the texture of the cornbread change with the different mix of peppers and spices?
Good question, Sarah. The texture remained quite similar, but the cornbread was a bit more moist and had a slightly different crumb due to the added liquid from the hot sauce. Overall, the texture was still perfect for cornbread, just with a unique flavor twist.
I find your approach so innovative, Maya. Your use of smoked paprika is intriguing. How did you decide on the amount of paprika to use, and did it blend well with the other spices?
Great question, Jennifer. I started with a small amount of smoked paprika and adjusted based on taste. It blended really well with the other spices and added a nice depth of flavor without overpowering the cornbread.
Maya, this is such a creative solution. I'm wondering, did you face any challenges in balancing the heat of the green chilies with the sweetness of the honey in the cornbread?
Thanks, Chloe. Balancing the heat was definitely a consideration. I kept the honey in the recipe to maintain that sweet contrast, and it worked beautifully. The heat from the chilies was there, but the honey helped mellow it out and keep the cornbread well rounded.
Maya, your creative use of alternative ingredients is inspiring. When it comes to selecting jalapeños, one critical criterion is freshness. I usually buy jalapeños when I'm making salsa or spicy chili here in Texas. Fresh jalapeños should be firm, shiny, and vibrant green. Freshness ensures they have the best flavor and heat. Watch out for any signs of wrinkling or soft spots, as they can indicate age and diminished flavor.
Absolutely, Jennifer. Freshness is key to ensuring the jalapeños add the right level of heat and flavor to your dishes.
I completely agree, Jennifer. In California, where I often use jalapeños for spicy salsas or grilled dishes, I also prioritize freshness. It's essential for the heat and crispness. I'd add that jalapeños should also have a bright color. Dull or yellowing peppers are usually past their prime.
Building on what Sarah said, I'd like to add that I also look for a good size and shape. In New York, I find that larger jalapeños tend to have a more intense heat and a more consistent flavor. When peppers are too small, they can sometimes be underdeveloped and less flavorful. Size matters for making sure your dishes pack the right punch.
Great point, Chloe. I'd like to emphasize the importance of the firmness of jalapeños. In Washington, where I use them in various dishes, the peppers should be firm to the touch. A soft or wrinkled texture can be a sign of overripeness and loss of heat. Firm jalapeños ensure a more consistent and potent flavor.
Those are all excellent tips. For my part, I pay attention to the stem of the jalapeño. A fresh, green stem indicates that the pepper is recent and flavorful. A dried out or brown stem can indicate age. I found that checking the stem is a good way to gauge overall pepper quality.
When it comes to alternatives to jalapeños, in California I sometimes use serrano peppers. Serranos are a bit hotter but add a similar spicy kick. They're great for salsas or hot sauces. The key difference is that serranos have a sharper heat, so adjust accordingly.
In Texas, I often use poblano peppers as an alternative. They have a milder heat and a rich, earthy flavor. They're fantastic for stuffing or adding depth to dishes like chili. Poblano peppers don't have the same heat level as jalapeños, but offer a different, more subtle flavor.
In New York, I might use hot chili flakes as a substitute. While not a direct replacement, they can add a spicy kick to dishes. They're convenient to keep on hand and can adjust the heat level in recipes. The flavor profile is different from fresh jalapeños, though, so it's best used in moderation.
In Washington, I use crushed red pepper flakes when fresh jalapeños aren't available. They provide heat and a bit of color, but lack the fresh crunch and flavor of jalapeños. They're great in soups and stews where you need a kick of heat.
Thanks for all these suggestions. I often turn to green chilies in Florida. They offer a different type of heat and are often milder than jalapeños. They work well in dishes like stews or cornbread, where you need a gentle heat and a bit of flavor without the intense spice. To wrap things up, here's a quick summary of our conversation. I recently faced a challenge while making my spicy jalapeño cornbread for a neighborhood potluck. When I realized I was running low on jalapeños, instead of a direct substitution, I created a spicy blend using green chilies, hot sauce, and smoked paprika, which added a unique twist to the cornbread. The result was a hit at the potluck. We also discussed important criteria for selecting jalapeños, including freshness, firmness, size, and stem quality. Additionally, we explored alternatives like serrano peppers, poblano peppers, hot chili flakes, and green chilies, each offering a different flavor profile. Thank you all for your insightful contributions and for sharing your tips and experiences. It's always wonderful to hear different perspectives and learn new ways to approach our favorite ingredients. Thanks so much for joining us today and for all the fantastic discussions about jalapeños and their alternatives. It's been great to share tips, tricks, and creative solutions with you all. We hope you found this conversation helpful and inspiring for your own cooking adventures. Until next time, happy cooking and see you soon.